Hey guys, how's it going? Today is October 26th, 2019. Just wanted to do a quick video on what appears to be this strange organic synchronicity. And just wanted to quickly share this as I was looking for news to decode today. I came to Fox News' website and just browsed some of the headlines, looked for interesting things. I did do one blog post about another topic earlier this morning, and that was on the death of a Brazilian judoka, Mario Sabino, who died in a very strange fashion. This man became a police officer after his career, but then was killed by his police partner in a murder-suicide. And this all happened by the numbers, specifically 74 and 115, which we'll talk about here. Now, as I was browsing the news this morning, I noticed this story about Megan King Edmonds and Jim Edmonds, a former baseball player, getting divorced. But I didn't click on it because I don't really care. And, might it be by the numbers? Sure, but whatever. I wasn't too worried about it. However, I did click on a different story, and I'm not sure if this is still on the front page. Yes, it is. Here it is. And this story I did look at because it has video of a pickup truck driving into a gas station. So why wouldn't I click on that? Seems entertaining, right? So I go into this story, and I find that the man who was arrested for this event was named William Edmonds. And I thought to myself, well, that's strange because Edmonds, although it's not the most exotic name, it is a fairly uncommon name. I can't think of running into too many other people with this last name, Edmonds, on the same date that we got a news story about Jim Edmonds' divorce. And this guy was a baseball player for many years, won a World Series with the St. Louis Cardinals, was a fairly famous baseball player. So I thought this was strange that you'd have two Edmonds in the news on the same date like this. Well, check this out. The name William Edmonds in Latin or Jewish Gematria sums to 1212. Interesting number. We'll talk about this in a second. So I thought to look up Jim Edmonds and just see what his Gematria was. James Patrick Edmonds, his full name, in the same cipher, sums to 1212, which is pretty wild, especially considering how in Sumerian Gematria his name also equals 1200. So how strange is it? On the same date, we get a news story with two Edmonds with 1212 Gematria. Now, if you add 12 plus 12, you get 24. William Edmonds, the man who drove this truck into the gas station, was 24 years old. Another interesting detail about this story is that he told police that he was trying to spin his wheels around 180 degrees. Well, first of all, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If you're spinning your wheels, you're just spinning them constantly, It's constant circles. It's not just 180 degrees. Perhaps he was trying to turn his truck 180 degrees. But again, that doesn't make much sense either if he was trying to do donuts or something. Well, on the date of this event, the same date that Jim Edmonds filed for divorce, Jim Edmonds, the baseball player, was exactly 18,018 days old. Again, this occurring October 25th. So how strange is that? 180, and then you get the 18 backwards. So in the alphabetic order, and with the S exception, notice how the city of Ortonville, which is where this BP gas station is located, Ortonville equals 56 and 52. The name Jim Edmonds equals 56 and 52. Furthermore, Ortonville BP equals 160 and 164. Jim Edmonds equals 106 and 164. What I also picked up on is that Edmonds equals 223 in Jewish Gematria. And this guy is from Groveland Township, Michigan, which equals 2203 in the same cipher. And remember, 223 is a significant number. This is the Hebrew value of the moon. And we get an eclipse once every 223 lunar phases. So I keep bringing up eclipses, right? And a lot of my work is centered around the numerology of eclipses and the dates on which they occur. The phrase total solar eclipse equals 1212, just like William Edmonds, just like James Patrick Edmonds. The date of these news stories had numerology of 74 and 47. Now, these are significant eclipse numbers. Notice how total solar eclipse equals 704 in Jewish Gematria. Total eclipse equals 47 in reduction. Not only does the name James Patrick Edmonds equal 74 and 115, but just the name Edmonds equals 74 and 115. And if you measure from the only total solar eclipse to have occurred this year on July 2nd to the date of these news stories, you get 115 days, a date with 74 numerology. Again, Edmonds, 74 115, just like his full name, 74 115. Perhaps also worth mentioning is that his wife, her last name was King Edmonds, Megan King Edmonds, 115. So I did eventually click on this news story and got some details on this. You'll actually find that Jim Edmonds got remarried on October 24th, 2014. Now, this is exactly 261 weeks before he filed for divorce. The name of his wife is Megan O'Toole King, which equals 261. And, of course, this is still in the headlines today, the 26th of October, the date written 26/10. So I just question what really happened here. Like, you know, there's two competing theories, and I'll tell you which one I'm currently leaning towards. The first one is that this is some sort of Masonic ritual, which is that, you know, I'm sorry, I don't believe this at all. Like, this guy filing for divorce being a numeric ritual put on by a secret society, I can't believe that. I think what's more likely is that, again, we have someone who was drunk at 2:30 in the morning and was literally inebriated with spirits. They call alcohol spirits for a reason. And I believe that a lot of what we're decoding is the spiritual dimension at work. So the fact that this man named Edmonds drove into an Ortonville BP on the same date that Jim Edmonds filed for divorce and thus made national news. What a weird world we live in. I don't know how else to put it. It just blows my mind. And I just want to point out when exactly this happened again. This happened at 2:30 in the morning, and it says Thursday, but this is Friday morning. And what gives this away is that it says he was arrested at his residence roughly 13 hours after the crash on Friday. So it would have been Friday morning, otherwise 13 hours later would have been Saturday, today. But again, you know, I keep doing this work because we're trying to get closer to the truth. And where is the line between some sort of Masonic secret society numerology and just the numerology of our world? And I'm much more willing to believe that this is all organic numerology. This drunk guy just, his name was Edmonds and the spirits acted upon it. It's just so weird. And I think back to when Zach Hubbard had a car crash into his house. And of course, a lot of trolls jumped on that and said, oh, he'd set this up on purpose. Some people also believe that the police literally set him up and had someone drive into his house. And I don't believe either. I believe you had a person who was drunk on spirits, and again, the spirits acted upon the date because the numbers lined up. Just for those of you who jumped in on the chat late, you're asking who is Edmonds. Again, Jim Edmonds is a former baseball player, World Series champion for the St. Louis Cardinals. And on the same date that he filed for divorce, literally just hours before this news story became national news, this man named Edmonds, both of their names summing to 1212 in Gematria in the same cipher, crashed into an Ortonville BP, which has the same Gematria as Jim Edmonds. And again, I believe this is probably organic numerology. If they're going to these lengths to set these numeric rituals up intentionally and this is all man-made, then I just applaud them, but it's ridiculous. I just don't buy it. Either way, again, my theories don't matter. The numerology is what's important, and the fact that this is occurring in the first place is just fascinating and blows my mind. So, just wanted to share this one with you guys. Thought it was pretty interesting. But that's going to do it for this video. Thanks to those of you who jumped in. And feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Again, what a strange world we live in. But one worth exploring for sure. All right, guys. Peace, love, God bless, all that good stuff. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.